Hi everyone! In today's tutorial, we're going to create a magical Halloween animation using After Effects. And I'll show you how to make a handmade parallax effect, without a camera and without any extra plugins. Let me give you a quick sneak peek of what's coming in this lesson. We'll be working with a few prepared PNG images. A mysterious Halloween house, glowing pumpkins, forest and tree silhouettes, a bright full moon, and of course, a flying bat. We'll start by building the background, then draw a hill and place our spooky little house on top. Next, we'll add pumpkins, already animated and shining from within. All project files and the ready-to-use assets are available on my Patreon. By the way, the pumpkin animation tutorial is also on Patreon. Then, we'll create a starry night sky and bring those stars to life with a subtle twinkle animation. We'll add a glowing moon, enhance it with a soft light effect, and bring in a touch of mist. First, a light fog, then a denser layer gently rolling near the ground. We'll animate the fog movement to make it drift naturally through the scene. Then we'll bring in the forest, trees, more trees, and even a lonely pine swaying slightly in the night breeze. And of course, a flying bat passing by. Its wings will be animated using the puppet pin tool. You can find this specific tutorial on Patreon, and there's also a video on YouTube explaining this animation method. Finally, we'll add a background with extra depth, enhance the whole composition, and finish it off with our handcrafted parallax animation to create that beautiful sense of space and 3D depth. So, ready to get spooky? Let's dive in. I've already created a new composition, 1920 by 1080 pixels. Let's start by building the background. Go to Layer, New Solid, make it the size of your comp, and choose a dark blue color. That'll work perfectly for a nighttime atmosphere. Now deselect everything and grab the pen tool to draw a mountain shape on a new layer. Set Fill, Black, Stroke, None, and adjust the shape until you're happy with the silhouette. On top of that, let's add our spooky house. It's a PNG image with transparency. Resize it using scale and position it nicely on the mountain. Next, let's add a few Halloween pumpkins near the house. Mine are already animated glowing pumpkins, each created from a PNG image with transparent eyes, nose, and mouth, and a light layer underneath that flickers like a candle. If you'd like to learn how to make them, there's a mini tutorial on my Patreon channel. Let's create a new solid and name it Stars. Make it white and the same size as your composition. Now go to Effects and Presets and find the CC Star Burst effect. Apply it to your stars layer. In the effect settings, reduce grid spacing, set size to 70, scatter around 300 to 400, and speed to 0. This gives us a nice static star field. To make them glow, apply the glow effect. You can leave the default settings. It already looks great. Now let's make the stars twinkle. Search for Venetian blinds and apply it to the same layer. This effect creates thin lines, kind of like shutters, cutting through the layer. To see it better, temporarily disable the two previous effects by clicking the FX icons. Set transition completion to 50%, width to 25, and feather to 0. Now, when we animate direction, the layer alternates between visible and transparent areas, creating a shimmering effect. Re-enable the previous effects and animate direction. At frame 0, 0 degrees. At the end of the comp, 15 degrees. Now our stars gently twinkle. Move the stars layer below all main objects, just above the background. Let's add the moon. I'm using a PNG of a full moon. Resize it and position it in the sky. To make it glow, duplicate the layer, Ctrl+D or Command+D, and apply glow to the bottom copy. Adjust intensity and radius until it looks soft and atmospheric. Now we've got our glowing moon, shimmering stars, and spooky hill with pumpkins and a haunted house. It's starting to come together. Let's add some light fog first. Go to Layer, New Solid, make it white, and apply Fractal Noise. Change the fractal type to Dynamic Twist and increase the scale to get large, soft clouds. Lower the opacity to about 10%. Now duplicate the layer for a thicker fog. Increase opacity to around 40% and set evolution to 160. This gives us more variation. To animate the fog movement, hold Alt Option and click the stopwatch next to evolution, then type time times 50. This makes the fog continuously evolve. For a subtle drift, animate sub-offset. Add a keyframe at frame 0. Move forward in time and shift the X value slightly. Now the fog slowly moves sideways, as if pushed by a breeze. Let's mask the lower fog layer so it stays around the base of the mountain. Use the pen tool to draw a mask then increase mask feather to soften the edges. Now we have a soft mist above the scene and a rolling fog near the ground. Perfect. Let's bring in a forest image. Mine is a wide row of trees. If your image isn't wide enough, apply Motion Tile and increase the output width. You can also check mirror edges for a seamless look. Duplicate the layer to create a closer forest. Slightly increase its scale so the trees appear larger. To make the two forests look different, apply the tint effect to the farther one. Choose a subtle greenish-yellow tone, like it's being lit by moonlight. Reposition both layers until they look balanced. Now add a tall, lonely pine tree between them. Scale it up and place it nicely in the center right area. To animate the pine swaying in the wind, use Bend It. Solo the layer for easier control. Set the bottom marker at the base and the top marker at the tip. Animate Bend. Frame 0 to -2. A few seconds later, 2. Loop the animation by holding Alt Option and adding this expression. Loop out. Ping pong. Select both keyframes. Press F9. Easy ease. Now the pine gently sways throughout the scene. What's Halloween without a bat? Let's add our bat. I already have one with animated wings created using the puppet pin tool. You can find the full step-by-step tutorial for this specific animation on Patreon and a separate video on YouTube explaining the puppet pin technique. To animate the flight path, open Position P and Scale S. At the start, place the bat off-screen in the top left corner, small in size. Then, a few seconds later, move it to the bottom right, larger in scale, as if flying closer to the viewer. Select all keyframes. Press F9 for easy ease. Then use the vertex tool to adjust the motion path. Make it a smooth, curved flight instead of a straight line. Now our bat flies naturally across the spooky sky. Now let's bring it all to life with a manual parallax effect. No camera needed. The parallax illusion happens when background and foreground layers move at different speeds, creating a 3D sense of depth. We'll animate the position of our two forest layers and the pine tree. At 1 second, set the final positions. At 0 seconds, move them slightly upward. The closer forest moves more, the farther forest moves less. The parallax effect happens when background and foreground layers move at different speeds. This difference in motion creates the illusion of depth, a kind of 3D feel, even though we're working in a 2D space. Select all keyframes. Press F9, easy ease. To make sure the top of the scene is always filled, create a rectangle with the Shape tool. Pick a color matching the forest using the eyedropper. Then use Parent Link to attach it to each forest layer. Let's organize the timing of our elements. The bat will appear right after the forest animation finishes. And the pine tree will start swaying right after the bat flies by, as if it's moved by the air from its wings. Let's slightly increase the fog visibility and adjust any overlapping masks or object positions. Now everything moves together smoothly, creating a beautiful depth effect. To make the scene even richer, let's add a background image of distant trees. We'll stylize it using color range to remove most of the bright areas. Then apply invert. Set channel to alpha to reverse visibility, so only the silhouettes remain. Add tint to recolor it slightly, maybe a cool gray-blue tone. Place it behind the mountain and moon layers. Use the minus eyedropper and color range to fine-tune which parts stay visible. Now it blends softly behind the fog, adding mystery and depth to the scene. Let's move the moon behind the background with the trees, since the moon should be farther away than the forest. You can also give this background a subtle parallax motion with small position changes. Since it's the farthest element, it should move the least. Now we have a beautiful, layered Halloween parallax animation. Built entirely by hand, without a camera, using only keyframes and effects. And that's it. Our spooky scene is ready. We've combined multiple After Effects techniques: manual parallax animation, glowing pumpkins, evolving fog, and puppet-based motion. You can take these ideas and make your own unique version. If you'd like to download the full project file and all PNG assets, you can find them on my Patreon channel. Thank you so much for watching, and happy animating!